Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Vikings, Season 4, Episode 1, A Good Treason. And holy shit, what an episode. It all started, all I have to say is I'm never going to want to piss off Lagertha. Never, ever, ever, because then she's going to cut my fucking dick off. And then she does the dick drop.
You know, like, he tried to rape her in the previous season.
You know, like the microphone drop? Instead of doing the microphone drop, she does the dick drop, where she holds the dick and she's like, done, smack at the end of the scene. If you listen closely, you can hear a little thud at the end of the scene when it pops off. Holy crap, Vikings is back. What an episode. Each season this show keeps getting better and better, the way it looks, the lights, the colors, and everything. Didn't cut any shit, just got right into it. I had a lot of fun in this episode of Vikings. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I'm not alone. I have with me Joe Dirty Locks and Katie Crow. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Excited.
Yeah,
wasn't exactly for nothing. You know, he tried to rape her and all.
Oh, so. No, he did. He tried to rape her.
He has a long history of grudge with her.
I was just so happy to see that end up being the conclusion of the situation. Like, it was so cool to see Kalf, or whatever his name is, someone I hated all last season for the most part, really won me over in this episode. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, I love this guy. And seeing her just go, no, wait, I got one last thing to do. And I'm like, okay, she's gonna she's gonna stab him in the belly or do something like that. Some shit's gonna happen.
Even better, baby.
Yeah, even better. He just fucking cuts the dick off, does the bobbit, then grabs the dick in his hand so he shows him as he's bleeding, and then dick drops.
Oh, she got facial with the blood too.
In the face with his blood.
Oh.
It was beautiful.
So fucking beautiful. And you know who else is beautiful? The motherfucking Issues chat. Holy shit. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Hey, guys. Dakota, Timo. Saw Tim in there. Lagertha cut off his pee-pee. Oh, someone just noticed the Crow's wearing a special hat. I feel left out. of the situation.
Yeah, where's yours, Phil? Where's yours?
Here I am. I'm in on the situation too. Vikings is back.
Here we go.
Even though in no way are these historically accurate, I don't care. We're wearing it anyways, and it's fun.
The courtesy of Papa Bear Larry was on last year's one of last year's broadcasts, and got these on a cruise, Viking cruise that he went on. So
awesome. So everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is your first time checking it out. We do live recap podcasts of the shows. If you're checking out Vikings and happen to be popping in here, share your thoughts of this episode of Vikings in the motherfucking Issues chat, or going live right now, or whenever you listen to this episode. We'd love to hear your thoughts of this episode and this season opener of Vikings. Holy crap, though.
Ragnar!
Ragnar back to giving people the hairy eyeball and looking everywhere. I love how
so good.
So good. I love how much joy Ragnar gets of that his actions or his thoughts fuck with people's minds.
Yes.
Just the way he fucks with Bjorn and the way he finds joy in those moments fucking with Bjorn, it's so crazy. It's so ridiculously evil and captivating to watch. I love this Ragnar Lothbrok dude.
He gives great face. Travis Fimmelman gives great face. He makes so much known with his expressions that it's fun to watch. It's really great acting to be able to communicate so much with just the looks on your face and the looks you give your co-actors. It's great. It's good to see. It's refreshing. It's unbelievable to know where he came from and where he's at. Good job.
Humble beginnings to this. Beautiful.
And I know not everything on the show is historically completely accurate. They take liberties and everything like that. But it's still, they take such time in the production of the show. And as every season goes on, just the way everything looked from the bat of this show. We talked about this a lot last season. I love how clear everything is in this story. They play with colors, they play with the darkness, eliminating colors, adding colors when it's appropriate. But I really love the way everything just has this crystal clear tone, how they film everything, the style, and how everything has a inherent sense of humor to it without it trying to be funny. It's such a fun show to watch and so intense. And this episode really just picked up right where season 3 left off, and I think he brought it to a new level, cut out a lot of bullshit I just didn't care about that we were going through and I know, okay, before we go too far, this is a historical show. It's based on historical things that really did happen. I know sometimes we're going to be talking about this like it's the drama of the week. Like, oh, yeah. I hate Ragnar's the evilest guy on TV or whatever we're going to say. I understand that it's historical, and the historical aspects of it really make it great and something that I talked about a lot.
It's as historical as it can be too, because it's not
it's a melding of history and legend.
Yeah,
right. And especially because it is a legend, and because it's such an open area, the show has a lot of flexibility.
Then that being said too, it also does take liberties with the way things are known to be in the legends that are written or talked about. So these things happened, they didn't happen, they may not have happened all in this order, or
not have happened to
period, or in this specific time period, or over 150 years, or whatever it is. But it all kind of happened, and it's all kind of attributed to this person named Ragnar Lothbrok and
or his sons. And I highly recommend checking out the History Buffs channel here on YouTube. He did a video about the show Vikings in some historical significance and in what is real, what is not, as much as he could. So it's a really awesome video. I highly recommend checking out channel History Buffs and his Viking season 4 predictions and information video. It kind of talks a lot about how a lot of this stuff that we see in the film is actually stuff his sons did, and they're attributing to this character. But this character is so captivating that just from a television character standpoint, this is just, I want to get that out of the way. We're going to be talking about this more from the television standpoint. History is going to be a part of it, but really talking about it from the television point. Travis Fimmel is that his name? Travis Fimmel has really created an amazing, captivating television character that reminds me a lot of Tony Soprano. In this episode specifically, the way he just has such an egotistical nature about everything about him, and that's going to drive him into insanity, that he's afraid that his son is going to be a better man than him, so he constantly has to push his fucking son down. It's crazy. I
think he's afraid that I didn't either.
I think he thinks his son is a foolish boy and he needs to prove himself to himself.
So he's going to let him do what he thinks he needs to do, but he doesn't. He thinks his son's going to come back just fine.
Like, he was terribly upset when Aslog said something about the possibility of his son dying.
This is what I want to say. I think it's interesting that, and it's cool that this show can be interpreted different ways like that, because I totally see what you're saying, and I agree that he loves his son, but I also think he's very jealous of his son and very jealous of what his son possibly could accomplish.
No, I think it still stems from the fact that his son. Sorry, I think it still stems from the fact that his son chose to go with his mom, so he still feels hurt by his son. So he doesn't fully. He can't fully relate to him because there's a big chunk of time that they were apart. So he believes his son is a good man. He's seen his son in battle. He saw his son last season. The smile on his face when he was watching the battle go on and watching his son pick up the axe and storm the walls and usher more warriors in and all that stuff. He knew his son was worthy of being his son and all that.
I read that situation differently. I read it that when he saw him do that, he did feel that way, and then he felt like he needed to outdo him, and then he jumped down and was like, I don't know. We'll see as the season goes on. I just want to jump. I just want to jump in the chat for a second here. Timo says, I was just about to type about History Buffs. Someone else said in the chat, I think Ragnar doesn't want his son to be more famous than he is. The way he was fucking with Aslog was hilarious. How much longer can Ragnar live, says Dakota. Timo says he will live forever. I know, I'm in denial. And Timo says Ragnar doesn't want his sons to be more famous than him. Timo also says when Ragnar saw the seer, he was upset and jealous his sons would be more famous than him. I see, that's how I read it too. But what's cool is it can be interpreted in different ways. I think you guys are correct in the way that he does have love for his son and he doesn't want to lose him. He felt horrible in that situation, really snapped at Aslog. I agree with that too. I just feel like there is some element of jealousy that comes into play. And especially as Bjorn does more things, I think Ragnar will get more and more jealous of him.
Yeah, it could be all of that. I mean, it's a multifaceted character. They're multifaceted characters anyway. So complications come with that. Yeah.
I don't want to say that that's not any part of Ragnar's motivations or feelings or anything, but I haven't particularly picked up on that so much. So
NY Kia says, I think Ragnar still views Bjorn as still a bit of a mama's boy.
A little bit, mostly because, you know, he chose mama. He went with mama. He's been gone for so long. But he's seen him in battle more than a few times now.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, sorry, I'm done.
I was just going to say, I think he sees his son as having the great vulnerability of wanting to prove himself to his father. Mm-hmm. And he wants his son to be his own man at this point, which is why he never directly contradicts or affirms what Bjorn says to him.
Right. The only thing he
leaves it and lets Bjorn kind of find his own way with it.
Right. Prove me wrong. He was not really saying prove me wrong like you were right. He's saying do what you need to do to come back and you know, be my son. Like prove me wrong in your head and come back. Yeah. Like you don't need to do this for me. He's doing it. He's letting the kid go out and do it for himself because he's not doing it for Ragnar's approval. Ragnar, I think, already approves. He's doing it to think that he's, you know, if he feels like if he goes out and does this, he's going to come back and have Ragnar's approval. All right, if that's what you need to do, kid, you go do it. Go be a man. Go do whatever you need to do, and then come back.
Yeah, and I think like Bjorn feels and thinks what you guys are saying. He thinks that his father disapproves of him, is jealous of him, is all of that. But I don't think Ragnar feels or thinks that. It's the son and his insecurities. I don't know.
Very cool stuff. And we got to welcome to the chat, Jon Snow. He says, I see nothing but tough love from father to son. Hey, John. Timo says, hey, John, you're supposed to be in my basement. Dakota says, Timo's basement is winterized. Jon Snow says, the way he reacted to his wife when she said, you may never see him alive again. The look in his face says it all. Honestly, he loves him.
He was going to go run back and get him.
Yeah, he was terrified.
He was about to turn around. You saw something? Hold on. Oh, wait, you didn't see something? Why would
you say something like that?
Oh my God. Woman, what are you doing to me?
Critch says Ragnar has a trait of letting people fuck up as an object lesson.
Yes, exactly. And that's you know, when this episode started and we had that scene with the Bjorn on the rock giving his speech, I was like, yeah, all right. And listen, lady, if you had any doubts, and Katie said, if you have any doubts about whether or not this kid can lead or he's going to be king, that's put a rest to it right there. And then so we had Floki arrested, you know, and he had made the decision before to leave Rollo behind in Paris, I guess, as this reminded us here, I guess. Yeah. So when Ragnar, I don't know, I just had a lot. Bjorn is trying to prove himself. He's trying to do what his father wants,
and that's his problem. He keeps trying to be his father and do as his father would. And so Ragnar's like, no, stop being foolish. Stop trying to anticipate what I'm going to do. Be your own confident man.
Exactly. So. He needs to learn, create his own story away from Ragnar. So let's start the episode off. The song singer or whatever is, the beginning of the episode, the song singer or whatever is leaving Paris, the wanderer to go to the wild world. He says, oh, did I just, that's towards the end of the episode.
Yeah. There were some visually stunning scenes in the beginning of the episode.
There definitely was. I think I fucked up on my notes and like the end of my notes were at the beginning of my notes or something like that.
It happens. It was an exciting show.
Whoops. So we start off with Ragnar in the. Whoa, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh yes, okay, yeah, I remember where. Yeah, doorway.
Yeah, he's sitting laying down. He's sort of heading towards a doorway and wants to pass through into the other region and actually die. But this is him in a dream, right? At
pretty wolf. Yeah,
it's a deathbed dream.
He's going towards the light. Yeah. He's dying in bed.
That's the gateway to Valhalla, guarded by the wolf.
And he's on his way. That's why, like, when he wakes up, he says, unfortunately, I'm alive. I was on my way to Valhalla.
Yeah, I was about to have eternal glory and partying with all the other past warriors.
Now I get stale ale and ungrateful everything.
Sorry,
Find
guys.
your notes yet, Phil? You're searching for them pretty hard.
I know. My notes are all fucked up, but whatever.
So then,
Oh no, I found it, guys. I'm sorry. So we open up to the lands of green, amazing scope, lush lands of the horses, Ragnar. You see me panic for a second because I'm like, wait a minute, what am I gonna? I can't actually talk about anything. But no, I don't actually have an opinion. I just have shit I wrote down about the episode. What the fuck? I expect you guys to offer opinions. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. No, I mean, we could have talked about it. I trying to figure out what the fuck I did when I'm looking at it. I'm like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ragnar is punishing me from the grave. So, okay.
He's not dead yet. Hey.
It's this like green, amazing scope, lush. Ragnar's on a horse, bald head, smile, crazy eyes as he sees something in the mountains. And then we head off to another figure walking, picking truffles or something. It's Aslog talking to the seer. She wants to know if a woman will ever rule Kattegat after Ragnar's death.
Sure, Lagertha.
Yeah,
Lagertha, not you fucking stupid, fucking power-hungry knockoff Cersei you want to be. Okay, so we go off to Ragnar, getting off the horse, seeing the doors. He smiles and walks to it. The seer asks, is it wise to wish the death of kings to Aslog? And she says, and then says, yes, it will be a woman. Aslog asks if it will be me. No answer. As Ragnar walks through the door, we see the wolf on one side, and the light is bright.
Very bright.
And the door is gorgeous.
It
The
is.
frame, man, I wish my doors looked like that.
Oh.
And you're right, Katie. And thank you for pointing that out because it is worth mentioning that right from the beginning of the shot of this scene, the way everything was looked so fucking beautiful, so vibrant. The colors were crazy, and the door was insane piece of CG or whatever they did to make that door looked really cool to me.
Yeah, beautiful.
Timo says, "Damn, I hate Aslog so much."
Oh my god.
Yeah,
She's awesome. Come on, guys.
Christopher asks, I wonder if that dream had something to do with him being baptized. Yes, I think it's because it's what Floki kind of put into him. And honestly, at the end when Ragnar presses Floki about, you did it out of jealousy, I believe Floki that he did it because he feels like he was on a mushroom trip and the gods talked to him and told him he had to do it.
Well, that's what we saw. We saw him have that vision.
He did.
It was all in his own effort to justify what he wanted
His own
to do
jealousy.
out of jealousy.
Yep. No,
And he can't even admit it to himself.
Oh, Floki, we'll get to you, you little fucking bitch. We'll get to you, Floki. But you're the least of my worries in this episode. We've gone a long time without talking about, even though we're getting into the recap. I feel like we forgot to mention the big thing at the top of the episode is our boy Rollo or Rollo.
Prince Rollo. Duke Rollo. What is he?
Yeah, whatever the fuck he is.
Lord Rollo.
Which. One of the most hilarious scenes I've seen in my life. I love him in that scene when he gets married to her and his reaction to her. That whole interaction was fucking hilarious shit.
It's great.
This chick
In that
feisty.
moment, I liked Rollo, but overall, not so much.
Tim says my doors look like that. A giant door.
What was it? We had some tweets earlier about swimming with the fishes.
Yeah. Lady was saying that we should that Rollo deserves a little ride out Big Pussy style
Out on the lake.
Ride on the lake. Michael, I knew it was you.
Fredo style.
Yeah, Fredo style. Rollo, Duke of the Norman or the Normandy, as it was known to be. Thank you, Christopher. Catholic doors, guys, not Valhalla. Okay, so those are the Catholic doors. Interesting.
There you go. Pearly gates of hell.
They
heaven.
had some very Viking artwork on them. Was that? Oh, but it's Rollo's view, so I suppose that could be
Ragnar's view.
Yes, Ragnar and Rollo, because he wants Ragnar.
He's now baptized too.
Yeah.
Twice now.
Rollo's like, get the knife out of my face and let me sleep, bitch.
That tickles.
Because it sounded like quite the ruckus party behind those doors too.
Yeah, it really did. It sounded like it was a good time. I had initially thought that was Viking stuff, but I guess it makes sense.
Maybe here you go. It doesn't just convert. There's a melding of the two.
Yeah.
And it grows and then becomes majority Christianity views. But like at the first, they did things like the cross and Thor's hammer. They started to make them look similar, and like
that was the whole marketing strategy.
Right.
Of
so
the Christians. But I think in Ragnar's head too,
he sees it
he's
like
not
that.
just one thing.
Right.
Or that's just another god to add to the roster.
Yeah,
it's a melding for him.
He deserves a seat next to them all.
Yeah.
He's that special.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he is.
Absolutely.
Woo.
Dakota says thought it was monks singing. Interesting. I can't wait to watch it again, to be honest with you. It's one of those things that I probably would if we weren't coming out here right away, I would have put on the show again right away to watch it. I had that much fun watching this episode.
Yeah,
in one flash, it's monks singing, and another flash, it's the Valhalla party, and
I need to watch it. Wow.
It's the pearly gates, but it's also like the gateway to get to whatever.
Yeah,
but the wolf in front of it. That's not too Christian, right?
So he knows the truth. He says the sayer says he's already seen enough as we hear a horn, and now Ragnar's upset and runs in slow motion towards the doors. The door starts to close as he starts to get tons of visions in this moment. And this is really cool. It's almost gets strobe-like, and I just love what's happening here. It's like a flash and what doesn't work in a show we were talking about on Sunday, where Rick in a certain moment, where I don't want to spoil what happened, but when Rick in a certain moment gets a flash of somebody and we're like, oh, that didn't really work. Here, this is how you make this work. Ragnar, as he's running towards in a dream sequence, starts having dream flashes where it would make sense from the perspective that we're seeing that you would see shit like that. And it really works naturally in the scene. It doesn't feel thrown in like, oh, let's get in Ragnar's mind. We need to know what he's thinking. It feels like in that moment where he should be seeing the things he sees. And he sees all these visions like Floki, dead Vikings, many other things. I said in my notes, I'm going to have to rewatch for all this. He says many of his friends and family dead. He says, and then we see Aslog kind of kissing the seer's hand. And he says the gods are watching as Ragnar sits there and the doors close and he screams.
Ah! Now this I interpreted as him seeing all of the things that are unfinished for him and why he can't enter yet. He can't die. The gods aren't done with him.
He can't stick it in. He can't stick his body in the gods.
Nope.
I don't know how many times I've said I hate dream sequences and in shows, and
it's one of those things
this was done very well.
Yes.
It didn't
It's
get
hard
dragged
not
on for a whole episode.
It was good.
Of all the things that we say that's great about this show does dream sequences better than 90% of the shows out there that try to pull off this sort of shit.
Most shows will pull it off. We'll run the whole episode. We'll have that dream sequence running through it, and God, I can't stand that. It's
and
like
they try to get all like deep and slow, and no. Vikings does it well.
There's certain times in life when deep and slow can be fun, but not in a dream sequence. Not in my TV always.
Nope.
But that being said, not when it comes to a dream sequence in a whole episode of a fast movie show, which is kind of what we're talking about. I mean, deep and slow works really well. You don't need to look to as many satisfied people out there in the world, or True Detective season 1. That's very deep and slow and very good.
And it worked. Yes.
And it worked.
Yes.
Dakota says, me too, never really. Timo says, I never liked her, either her acting, the actress, or the lines just don't do it for me. I just wish Rollo did some killing instead of having people do his dirty work.
Yeah, that was Rollo's a big pan. Like he's a treacherous, traitorous. Ragnar should have had him killed when he had.
He's an insecure.
You want to call him
in the body of a man.
He's a coward. He's a coward.
Thank you, Phil.
Yes.
Can't figure out it. Imagine Floki's dreams. Holy cow. I realize how much I missed Lagertha. I can't think of the like this much. I agreed. Deep and slow. Wait till I miss something.
And that's true. There aren't that many lead or supporting role female characters that I like as much as her. Jessica Jones, who I can't remember that girl's name. She's one of them, but and not in anything else that I've ever seen her in, but in that, absolutely.
We're not characters, not actors. I know.
Yes.
Right, and Lagertha is also one of them. And this today's Lagertha today, when she walked up and cut that pecker off, when she bobbited that motherfucker, I was psyched.
Yeah.
I was psyched. That was
beautiful. Well
Bruce says hi. It's not Game of Thrones, but I love Vikings. I love Vikings.
No, the only criticism I've ever had of this show is that it should have not been a History Channel show. I would have rather it been on HBO or
You think
Cinemax,
it's
Showtime.
handcuffed to the historical thing because it's on a history?
No, that's not even the. I just wished so there could be more graphic material, more boobies, more or boobies at all, more butts, more.
Joe, they are in the international versions of the.
I know, and that's why I'm saying it should be on one of those other channels. That's the only. They have to film some scenes differently for the American market over what they show us or has been shown in Europe and Asia, wherever. So, my only criticism is that this material is adult, it's mature, the story is told so well, and that it does feel lacking that those things that being on one of those other stations could offer. I think it wouldn't detract from it. It wouldn't make it feel like a tit and ass show. It would actually make it feel a little bit more historically accurate to me. I don't know. That's all. And that's really my only criticism I've ever really had of this show.
Yeah, the only other minor criticism I would have of it, just from a storytelling thing, is it tends to skip major gaps of time where things that are interesting could happen, and some of the time is hokey with believability of how old people should be in certain situations. Some gaps of time, so that's probably one of the few things that minorly bothers me. But it's not. But that's like a very, very minor thing and has nothing to do with my enjoyment of the show. It's just more my selfish nature of wanting more, and why I'm really happy.
And that's my point too.
Is we're getting like 16 episodes this season, so I'm it's that's another thing. Like, I felt like we didn't get enough episodes every season. Like, I could have gotten more details, more descriptions. So those are all really awesome problems to have for a show. Those are some of the best.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is the international versions on the DVDs? I think they are on the Blu-rays, I believe.
Ooh.
Rachel
or at
says
least probably like alternate scenes or something like that's got to be there. Cut scenes, director's cut.
Let's jump in the chat for a second. Bruce says Battle of Paris last season was great TV. I agree. Rachel says I agree, Joe. I wish it was on HBO or something. They would have more freedom with the material
and language
and a lot of things. If I was to be a completely selfish bastard, I would say I would want it to be on like Netflix, so we'd get all the episodes at once, so I could just binge watch series of Vikings. But
then we wouldn't really have this show. We haven't done like Netflix play-by-play first.
We just do one big long podcast at the end to recap the whole series.
But this is more fun.
Oh yes, it's awesome. It's awesome having to wait week to week for new episodes. It's
awesome to have to be able to get together with them, 3 times a week instead of once for this show a season. We get 3 times a week for this, with a bunch of
too much inside whatever. Okay, so we head off to Kattegat and we get to see every day we see some kids' perspectives. As I wrote my notes, the show looks even better this year. Just the way it looks so fun. Right and clear. We see Bjorn and the other kids. We see the seer. We see the queen. Ragnar's in bed. Someone comes in and it's Floki had carved some runes for him and he places on top of him to try to help him heal. We go over to Aslog and Bjorn. Bjorn talks about his wife. Remember that? Yeah. And there's almost a joke about Vikings being on so long ago where it's, oh yeah, your wife. That was so long ago. We don't even remember about her. The hell with her.
Oh, yeah, she left. She went.
She's wandering.
But we got your daughter's still here. I didn't want a daughter. I wanted a wife.
Timo, by the way, Timo, something will be happening for that. I haven't decided how I'm going to be doing it, but I think something will be done for what you just said in the chat right there. So Bjorn and Aslog talk as she's trying to take control. You can see that she's been in charge for a long time, so she's making sure that she shows that she's got her shit together. So in come all the spoils from the Paris situation of last season. We get to see Ivar, who's getting much bigger, and looks like it's a really nice little boy that's playing.
There was one shot I wanted to say here at the beginning of when we came to Kattegat. When we saw Kattegat, there was a flyover shot.
Beautiful.
From like the mountains, you could see over the harbor and over the town, all the rooftops. And Kattegat has gotten huge.
Yeah.
It is no longer a small little town. This shot was huge. It stretches back a mile or so, 2 miles. There's hundreds of houses, or maybe 1,000 houses instead of just a couple hundred houses. Like, it's gotten really big, and it was a great shot. I really liked it. The CGI, whatever they did to get that shot to make that village, wonderful. Great shot.
I agree with you. It looked so freaking amazing and so much scope. You almost feel, and this isn't a criticism of the show, it's just a thing, that if you look and you're rewatching season 1 stuff and then you compare it to what you're seeing now, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, the show really survived in the first season and a half or so, maybe more, on really on the acting, on Ragnar, on the story, on the performances. Big time on the performances. Like, some of the battles, they were supposed to be big. It was like 20 to 30 guys on like maybe 30 guys. Like, and they didn't have the scope or the feel that you thought they might, but still, it was amazing, and it's just gotten bigger and better. And the effects, the money they've put into it because of how popular it's gotten, it's great. It's, awesome. And it really shows in the production. They're putting the money back into the show, which is great.
Katie says, what did Aslog mean when she said, we'll take care of her? Did she mean baby Siggy? Plus, she said it kind of harshly. I think that's what she meant.
They're going to go cut
this kid.
We'll take care of her. Hey, don't worry about that kid. We'll take care of her.
Yeah, she's been,
we'll get rid of her for you. Don't worry about it.
Having her
forget about it.
So far. So
and
she's not happy about it.
Don't worry. We already got rid of one kid. We'll go drown her out in the water.
Like her mom.
Like her mom.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
No, they weren't talking about little Siggy. They were talking about Bjorn's kid.
Bjorn's kid. Yeah, but,
is that her name? Is little Siggy? They named her after Siggy?
Yeah, I think so. I think they named her.
There you go.
Yeah. Christopher says Earl Howard said, "Oh, yep, Earl D'Artagnan there wasn't that interested in expanding Kattegat's reach as Ragnar is." Timo says Aslog doesn't want to take care of someone else's kid, but yet she let her kids with Siggy all the time, especially when she was getting it on with whatever that guy's name was.
Well, that's not just somebody else's kid. That's like her stepson's kid. So it's like her granddaughter. It's her granddaughter for all intents and purposes. So,
but Ragnar would want the kid taken care
exactly.
of. Exactly.
That's what John.
If he noticed.
That's what Jon Snow was saying in the chat. She's still family. That's her son's niece.
Right.
But she's definitely not happy about it.
She's not happy about it.
More from Porin and Bjorn.
I think she really hoped that like all the people she knew died in Paris, so she just had Kattegat that Ragnar wasn't coming back. I think that's what she was wishing for.
She would have been been killed. She wouldn't have been like still queen or anything like that. That would have been over for her.
I think they're respectful enough to Ragnar's family legacy and all and whatnot. That
not if nobody came back, they would have been like, crazy bastard.
Well,
We knew
his sons are still, like Katie's saying, his sons are still there. Like Ivar and other kids.
You don't think King Hork's kid would have come down and tried to slaughter the village, and like all their warriors have been killed? All their warriors were off in Paris.
They would try, but Lagertha would stab him in the dick and fucking dick drop.
Yeah, I guess.
Dick drop.
Dick drops all over the place from Lagertha.
Well, and then that's just it. Lagertha would come in and she would be like, all right, great. My ex-husband is dead. This is all mine now.
Welcome, Al, Red Sox fan. Great to see you, buddy. Bruce said, I think the queen is going to end up loving Rollo. Excuse me.
Of course she is.
I think
especially after this.
He's playing.
I think she's going to ultimately realize that she has a very big Terminator-like weapon at her disposal.
No. This is I have no idea what happens, but I think that when Ragnar comes back, Rollo says, yeah, I killed them, but I did it just so that we could go get Paris, so that they, it was just to kind of fool them, lull them into security.
Yeah, I think Rollo's falling in love, and he's going to do anything his queen says eventually. So we get Bjorn and Aslog talking as she's trying to keep control.
But what is Mike? I have a question. I'll wait.
Rollo?
I'll wait.
What?
I'll wait till
So
we get
all
there.
all the spoils come into the Paris situation from last year. Ivar's getting bigger. Aslog's high in the hog as the leader as they're throwing gold out. They have so much gold that they're just tossing it out. They're doing like Scrooge McDuck stuff. They're swimming in the fucking gold. Boys, come swimming in the gold.
Crowns and goblets and pearls and gems and everything you can think. Gold crown. The treasure that they brought back from Paris makes the things that they brought back from England, it's pale in comparison. This is a gold mine. This is more wealth than most of them have ever seen in their life.
And
all raids combined previous in their lifetimes, most likely.
As we flash over to Ragnar and Bjorn in bed, and Bjorn giving a speech talking about how Ragnar might die, but he is our king. Ragnar.
It's a great speech. I loved it.
Yeah, and it seems like Ragnar can hear his words. We also get talk of Athelstan for a second, applesauce. Ragnar says we went to Paris because of him, so Bjorn orders the arrest of Floki for the death of Athelstan.
I was cheering for this. I was like, all right, go Bjorn.
I wasn't upset about it.
I was psyched. I was like, Bjorn's taking control. He's a man. He's doing the right thing. Last thing we saw Ragnar really communicate to anybody was to Floki, and it was, I know what you did.
Yeah. Ragnar just doesn't want to deal with it.
Right.
He doesn't want to have to.
And that's even what he says.
Floki. But if he does have to, whatever.
I was psyched.
I liked this decision.
Floki says, I did it for the sake of all of us, for the common good.
Nope.
Oh, you
No.
Well, he pulls out his axe and he's ready to fight. And then he drops
the influence he had on him. You admit it. You know the influence that Christian had on Ragnar. You know it.
So what?
Nope.
Influence is one thing. Big deal. Look at all this treasure and wealth.
Bjorn did this, like, played this perfectly too. Don't engage. Fuck you, Floki.
Do they have Viking crows? Of course they do. That vibe she gave.
Viking crows. Are you kidding me?
Crows belong.
Odin has two crows.
No, but let's forget all that. Historically, yes, the Vikings did use crows and different birds that you can learn in the History Buffs video about how that was one of the things nautically that they would do to figure out how close they were to land.
Yep.
Crows are very significant culturally and mythologically.
So you bring some birds with you, and you let them go occasionally. And when the bird comes back, you know there's no fucking land around, or he wouldn't have come back.
Yep. So Floki says, yeah, whatever. And I can't remember if this happens in this scene or I forgot to write it down. But at one point, and if it happens again, we'll just skip over it. Aslog looks at all the spoils and all the French slaves that have been brought over, and she picks this one girl to be like, "Come on, you come with me." And this seems to be something a little bit weird about her. And Ragnar notices it later in the episode too, that she doesn't.
People.
What was that?
I've never seen anyone like her.
Yeah, and she also seems like she's not accustomed to doing manual labor, is what it seems.
No, of course. She's a prisoner.
Yeah.
Just like Athelstan. Athelstan wasn't accustomed to any of that shit, kind of. Like, he was a learned, monkish.
All I'm saying is, let's keep an eye on her.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think she was necessarily impoverished in her former life. She's very proud.
No, it seems like she's like the way she grabs the chicken later on. She's all like,
yeah.
She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
And I just didn't. I'm not liking isn't the best way of saying it. Ragnar gave her a very weird look at one point in time in the episode.
You're fascinated by her.
Yeah, he's
a couple of times, a couple of good looks.
What have I
missed? Oh, what have I missed?
Can I taste your applesauce sort of look? like he's getting those applesauce vibes again. I think
applesauce. I miss applesauce a lot.
Yeah. Applesauce.
I thought I'd miss him more than I did, but I didn't think about him much in this episode. And I feel like for where we got with Floki, I really love his character. Don't get me wrong. I feel like his arc was good though, and where it got us to the point where we are with Floki and Ragnar, it needed to get to that point to have this. And I like seeing Floki face some of the punishment for some of the bullshit that he's done, and some of the evil he has spewed. I think so. I like the storyline enough, but I do miss the actor. He brought a lot to the part and brought a lot to the show. Applesauce is with us in spirit, says Christopher. Ragnar's gonna have sex with her stranger, but I think so. Absolutely. No, don't think Sam is here. She doesn't watch the show, Kelsey. Welcome, Kelsey. I didn't see you pop in. Welcome. Applesauce has never tasted so good, says Al Red Sox Fed. Oh, I love the motherfucking issues motherfucking issues chat. I tried to say, if you're checking this out at a later time and you not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Join us live right after the broadcast so you can be a part of the motherfucking chat. They're awesome people, great to talk about the episode, and actually they're much better than we are, so come here for we're the extra bonus on top of it, the babblers that are joining you with the chat. So thank everybody in there that's joining us tonight, as usual, kicking some ass in there. Vikings is back on right now, as the episode is probably, it's 12 o'clock, another version of the episode. Only if I had a television in this room, I just put it on in the background and like stare at it.
It's on right there.
I'm watching it right now.
Fuck you guys. Okay, so you guys can go.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding. So
hey,
I'm sorry, I'm a mean bastard. Okay, so we get talk of Athelstan. We flash over to okay. So Floki gets his ass dragged off. So now we're back into almost black and white, and kids are throwing horse poop and rocks at Floki. Aw, Floki. Did any part of you guys feel
mostly
bad?
just horse shit.
I feel bad for his wife and kid.
Talk about a shit buddy.
BEC from Australia, welcome back. Great to see you.
And it seems like there's not a thing can go by that we watch that doesn't involve shit, Phil.
Yeah,
it's even like all my video games. It
always comes back to shit. It really does. Jon Snow, good question. We didn't get anything in England and Wessex or any of that stuff tonight. I'm almost glad that they didn't do it, because I think it'll be.
Time goes by, we're not there, the Vikings aren't there.
Or I just would rather a whole episode or most of an episode dedicated to that, where we need to catch up with a lot of what happened with the Vikings, and it was cool to just have the Vikings area complete from beginning to end. I mean, we did have the Paris stuff, but Rollo's there, and he's one of our main characters from the beginning, so we're following his storyline.
See, what I'd like to see is none of that. I'd like to see knowing, like, here's the thing: they killed all the villagers that they left behind. Hold on,
yep. Okay, go.
So they killed them all. There's no Vikings there to report back anything. When we show up there, it's going to be like, what the fuck? Who's in charge? Oh, you've got this much territory. Where's our towns? Like, as viewers could get put in the place of our Viking town people and everything. We know what's going on in Paris because Rollo's there, so we see something. We know what's going on in Kattegat.
I want with the Wessex English situation is I find that stuff extremely interesting, and I would ultimately my favorite thing would be if we could get a Flash Arrow sort of situation where we got a spin-off series that was just Wessex, but we did get some crossover between the two series that was matched up historically with time, because I feel like there's enough interesting stuff, and they set up enough interesting story arcs with Crazy Pants and Egbert and all that stuff, that there's cool shit going on there that I want to hear about, but I don't want it to take away from the Viking storyline. So I hear what you're saying, Joe, but we don't have that, so I want episodes that are dedicated to that, because that stuff's interesting too.
Well, if I can't get it my way, I'll take it the way that you want it, but not the way that you like it.
Right. As Jon Snow said, we need Egbert. I feel like we need him. He's going to be our true.
See, I love that storyline. I love the stuff. I love the actors. Linus is his name, something like
Linus
that.
Roach.
Linus Roach. But I'm just not.
Well,
I like not seeing it. I like being left in the dark, because there's no presence there of the Vikings, and this is Vikings, not Wessex.
I was going to say,
like
is there anything to really see there right now in terms of like?
Well, there's Queen Crazy Pants, King Fuckface, and sorry.
I was agreeing with you that there's no Vikings there, so it's not really.
Yeah.
Right. She exactly. So, but I just find it way too interesting. I think the show needs that. I think they are ultimately, because they are going to be our antagonist or our that force that we can't forget about. There's too many things bubbling up in there, and I miss it too much, but I agree with what you guys are saying. So let's get back into it. Now we're almost into the black and white. The kids are throwing poop at him as we, instead of the OC, we do Wessex. Love the actor, just such an ass. You can't trust him. Christopher says Eckbert's probably going to try to engineer something somewhere with someone. KLC, oh my God, I just noticed Katie Crow's hat. That's freaking adorable. See, I want Applesauce to do an Obi-Wan Kenobi and come back and talk to people.
To Floki and to Ragnar.
He has the rope.
And like saying different things to both of them.
So let's cut away to the most beautiful sight in all of Vikings. We see Lagertha arriving back to her territory. I forget what her territory is called. Do you guys remember what that area is called?
Lagertha land.
That's what I called it, Lagertha land, the port of Lagertha. I forget what that area is called, but
I think they said it a couple of times too, but I missed it.
They may have in Vikings last season, anyways, when we'd switch locations, would do the little thing on the bottom of the screen to tell us where we're at. They didn't do that in this episode. They just sort of went back between.
Yeah, we're in Lagertha land.
Lagertha land.
Yep.
Ragnar still has to deal with the King Eckbert what he did to those farmers. Yes, that's the connection to the Viking.
Yeah, when they go back.
Right, they have to go back there. Right, but if there was still the Viking town there, then I would be okay. I'd be more okay with episodes about Wessex.
Yeah. So we cut away and we see Lagertha arriving back to her territory, and when we see Hork's son and that other guy, the dead guy by the end of the episode, so it doesn't really matter what his name was. And we also see Earl Kalf and basically all the bad guy group from last season. And then we go back to Kattegat and we see the merchant. This is where she's selling the slaves from Paris, and we see Aslog get that one special looking girl that she gets. So then we get more shots of
Rex, the prettiest girl of the bunch, right?
Yeah, the most.
Absolutely. If you had to have sex with Lagertha and fuck Ragnar over and survive, we need King Eckbert. Yep, absolutely. That's very true, John. Laggy. They figured we should know all the locations by now. Good point, Timo. So we're back to Kattegat, the merchant selling. Yes, of course, she picks the pretty one. We see Ragnar in bed. We look over and he sees what Floki made him, and he throws it down. One of his sons come in and says, "You're awake." And Ragnar immediately goes into asshole mode, and he goes, "Just kid, nothing gets past you, you little asshole."
Yeah, you're a swift one, aren't you?
You fucking little asshole. "I'm alive, unfortunately," he says.
What does that mean, Daddy? It means if you want to be king, go get me some fucking ale. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
He turned into Archie Bunker for a second. Shut up, you meathead.
He goes, "Great, I'm gonna go tell Mom you're awake." And Ragnar's just like,
"Oh,
that's right, I got a wife." He's like,
fuck.
I ruined my life by fucking her.
Oh my gosh. "I'm alive," he says. Fucking kid, go tell your mom to come over here and give me some action. I'm awake. I want a beer and fucking and tell your mom. Yep, and some fucking. You want to be king? Get me that shit, and you're king before your brother Bjorn.
Get me a beer, and you can have whatever you want, kid.
Nah, bitch. Beer, bitch. Okay, so the kid goes to tell his mom it's the girl. We see her being washed. Aslog kind of washes the girl, like, you've been to county before, you know.
You're so dirty, you little slave girl. I'm gonna clean you up.
Ragnar was just, and as Timo said, Ragnar was just hilarious in that scene.
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
Great face. Ragnar gives great face.
Comedy gold without even having to try again.
Yep.
It's great stuff.
Well directed, well acted.
Shot. All of it.
I can't say that enough about this series. I'm still in love like I was the first episode.
Bruce wants to know if the actor who plays Ragnar has ever even been nominated for any awards. No, I don't think so. And I want to say
that's why I don't watch any of that crap.
And I want to.
Louis C.K. won a Grammy for his album,
but his first acting jobs too. He comes from the modeling world.
Yes. Yeah. Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein. I don't know if it's his. I don't know if it's his first role. I don't have IMDb up in front of me, but I know it's definitely one of.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of things, but this is his first big role, like one of his first roles.
I'm looking at it now. He started off his career in 2003 in a Tarzan series. Then he was in something called Rocky Points. He was in something that makes me sick just reading the name, Southern Comfort. Oh, sorry. He was in something called He was in something called Surfer Dude, which must have been interesting.
Oh no.
Something called The Beast, in something called Ivory, The Experiment, Needle, Pure Country 2, The Gift, The Chase TV series, Supremacy, Black Box TV, Outlaw Country. I haven't heard of any of these things.
No, it's all mostly Australian movies and TV and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're right. And Vikings is his first big thing, followed by the preview of the movie that I saw when I went to go see Star Wars in the previews, which I don't know if you guys saw the previews for it. I actually am strangely excited to see it. Warcraft, the movie, which
yeah, someone was just telling me about that last night. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
For some reason, I like just to see Ragnar, just to support Ragnar. I'm probably gonna go see that movie.
I suppressed that.
It's in just even though I know it's a video game movie and they've never been, and there's no chance of it being good.
Video game movies suck.
It looked like it was going to be a good thing, but I have some issues with World of Warcraft.
Yes, I hear you, but it's Warcraft. It's not World of Warcraft. It's pre-World of Warcraft. It's based on the Warcraft movie. Sorry to geek it. Okay, you're like, shut up. I don't care about your geek shit, Phil. Shut up and you're fucking.
It still has the Warcraft in it.
He has post-traumatic stress disorder from watching Joe play Warcraft.
5 years of me like, shh.
I'm on a raid, Katie.
After this raid. Okay, let's be on for a few more hours.
Okay, enough Warcraft talk is making me want to play it like a drug that's injected. So as the girl's being washed, Azog gets told that Ragnar is alive, and she's like, "I don't care." And the son's like, "What? You don't care?" And she goes, No. I care. So then we go over to Floki, who is visited by his kid and his wife.
Kid and wife. Oh, I feel for them.
Bringing him some food.
Yeah.
Just
good
sad.
Girls, good ladies.
I think if Floki just admitted about the jealousy.
Yeah, tell the fucking truth.
Yeah, I don't know if he understands truly. And if Floki had just said about the jealousy in the situation, Ragnar probably would have just killed him swiftly.
Let him go.
I don't think so. I think where it comes into is Bjorn put him in the situation where he has to kill him. He can't let him go now. I think I think ultimately where we're gonna go though is he's gonna need to let him go to build ships, to sail, to fucking get to the English, to kick some ass in the English. Like they're gonna need him for something or something.
Ragnar can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Ragnar did not arrest him. Bjorn did. Ragnar did not say that Floki killed Athelstan and for that I'm arresting him.
Yeah,
Bjorn did.
Can't undermine
he can't undermine Bjorn, but what he can do is say the facts of the
public. So he told everyone family business and told that Floki basically spit in Ragnar's face. So now everybody knows Floki did it. So Ragnar has to do something about it.
Yes.
Right.
That's what Ragnar's
Ragnar can say, hey, Bjorn spoke out of Bjorn didn't speak right.
It's not about it's not about what Bjorn did. It's about what Floki did. And the fact that people know what Floki did now. So Ragnar can't keep that. He doesn't care that Bjorn acted on his own. Bjorn did something that probably in the right circumstances would have been the right thing.
Who knows that Ragnar didn't order
everybody now, because Bjorn yelled it out. He said Floki's responsible for Athelstan's death. We all knew that.
Okay.
Nothing happened.
We did.
Floki did it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I'm not denying that.
He was acting as Ragnar's voice essentially in that moment. For Ragnar to undermine him would be to undermine Ragnar himself.
What if Ragnar stood up and said, "Listen, I never told Bjorn this, but I told Floki to go kill him."
Yeah.
What if he does that? What if he says that? What happens? Just humor me. What happens if he gets up and says that? Because I admire my son for putting him under arrest, but what he didn't know was that I told Floki to go do this.
No.
And he wouldn't do that. And he wouldn't do that. He couldn't get away with it.
Can't see it.
So we go to the next scene where Bjorn's looking at a map and he sees one of his brothers come in, and we see the map of what I think is eventually going to be Bjorn's big long journey. We see Bjorn looking at the map and looking.
Do you think that's where he went? He didn't go there. He didn't go like like that was a map of all of Europe and like maybe more.
No, I think that was a long-term fantasized.
No, that's like when he's king, he'll go raid those
lands.
lands.
That's not what I was saying, Joe. I'm saying looking at what will future be his mission.
Right.
Yes, yes.
That's what I was.
Bjorn's going to ultimately go on, not where he's going for the winter.
Right, because that's just the winter. He did say I'll be back in the spring.
All by himself.
That's right.
Oy.
So he'll go a long way for his destiny, Bjorn says. And that's just, and honestly, that's just a wink and a nudge to people that know the history, to be honest with you. To know what actually happens with Bjorn. So it was the foundation of a big long mission that Bjorn is going to undertake probably by the end of the season. Jon Snow says Floki will not die this season. Critch says Floki survives winter. Ragnar concludes gods of the gods will intervene. He better not die. I think there's no way Floki dies. Personally, I think as much as everything that we just said, I don't think Floki dies. Floki lives.
He does.
I think so too.
Joe, you think he dies?
No,
you think he's alive? Floki survives the situation. Okay, so back.
I think our main character death will not be Floki.
Okay.
If we have one, it will not be Floki.
No, it's gonna be Ragnar. Back to Lagertha land, and Kalf is being pressed or starts giving his speech that, listen, everybody, that Lagertha and I are going to lead things. Me and Lagertha fought over there in Paris.
I saved her life. She saved my life.
We boned a couple times. It was good. You don't understand. But we're going to run things together. Enough bullshit. We're going to run things together. Cut the shit. What the fuck? And remove that woman, Earl Kalf.
Hey,
No, screw you.
That's not the deal we made.
That isn't the deal we made. And wow, doesn't Horik's son looks pissed at this too? He walks out of the room. He's got the French crossbow, which he's psyched he's got. He was showing it off to Dickless over there. And then that's when the announcement gets made, and both Dickless and Horik look fucking pissed.
Someone says, I just want to pop in the chat. Someone said that they think Floki will be flayed Bolton style this season at some point. Oh, scary.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get away unscathed.
And what a bunch of asshole kids.
We already blood eagled somebody, so we're not going to get another blood eagling.
But I want one.
Timo says, still don't trust Horik's son. Yeah, I don't trust that little turtle.
Oh, absolutely not. He does that like creepy, sinister thing.
Yeah.
Brooding little boy thing.
I think that
you're going to kill the Lothbrok dynasty. You changed.
I think that if you keep him happy, you'd keep him on your side easily. I think he's an asset that can easily be manipulated. Just the fact that he's there killing Dickless and all these other people.
So you think he's sort of like an early Game of Thrones Lancel Lannister? Can just kind of whiny and bitchy and can be pushed to any direction, that anyone that gives him either pressure or support, he'll go to whatever side.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he's cunning. He knows that he's got allies, and that he knows that these are also the same people that killed his father. So he's got a little bit of wanting revenge. But if these people are going to make him rich and make him as powerful or close to powerful as his father was, then I don't think he's going to have a huge problem with any. He'll be begrudgingly go along with it and keep in the back of his head this other shit.
Yeah, as long as it is profitable for him.
For him, correct. That's what I'm thinking.
Says no way. He has a plan. He's sticking to it. He still wants to kill Ragnar. Just being smarter about it.
Yeah,
I think he definitely does want to kill Ragnar.
Yes.
But he's biding his time at the very least, and he's going along to benefit himself and keep himself in position with these people who he wants to kill.
Right, and you can keep him at bay by keeping him mostly happy.
Yeah,
keeping his mind off of his rage.
Yeah.
Mostly dead.
and keep an eye on him.
And keeping an eye on him and focusing it by inviting him along for these massive wealthy raids and having him raise his armies and become more wealthy. It gives him things he has to worry about, things he has to think about, and weigh, hey, I'm super fucking rich. Do I need to be thinking about killing this guy who keeps making me richer? Maybe it can wait till next year. I can't quite get the pieces together yet to assassinate him.
I'll take over myself.
Dr. Pavel, I'm CIA. I'd rather trust Horik's son than Aslog, honestly. I'm kind of
no hell hath no fury than a woman scorned, right?
I'm almost in your boat with that, Dr. Pavo. I'm with you over there. I think Horrocks' son's easier to deal with. I think Aslog's going to be a problem as time goes on.
Yeah, you know exactly what you're getting with Horrocks' son and what he wants from you.
Yep, Aslog is like Cersei minus all the personality, and
the personality.
Yeah, she misses the charms of Cersei. Whatever that means. But no. I wouldn't even give her that much credit. But I'm not a big Aslog fan personally, as you guys know.
No, never have been myself.
Me neither. So we get back to Kattegat, the kids some more. Lots of kids are going to be warriors. We get to see basically all of Ragnar's kids together, even Ivar. Ivar's looking very happy as Ragnar.
Family.
And then Ragnar enters the hall, and it's like, oh, Ragnar!
Well, he comes in very quietly at first. Nobody notices until he puts his hand on someone's shoulder. Bjorn's the first one that notices without having to be touched and shouts out his name, and that's when people really start to notice that he's there and are happy that he's alive, and some more than others.
So John says she's going to get, Aslog's going to get blood-eagled. And Rollo is like, Rollo's like Jamie. Maybe that's why I love him. Rollo is Jamie without the incest. He's better looking. That'd be a great episode. Aslog getting blood-eagled. Yeah, that would be, watch that thing.
Okay with it.
Well, Rollo and Ragnar pull off a Jamie Cersei event.
Wait, what? What?
What are you talking about?
Is that what they wanted? Something about Rollo is like Jamie, and Jamie fucks his sister, and since Rollo doesn't have a sister, he only has a brother. Rollo's fucking Ragnar.
No, Joe.
Right, Timo?
I'm sure
what you're
a lot
saying?
of people would think that was really
I'm sure Timo wouldn't have a problem with that, but come on, dude. Okay, Aslog gives the stank eye when Ragnar comes in.
Viking bromance.
Oh my gosh, this is getting dirty here. Okay, so we go back to Kattegat, the kids. What the fuck, Joe?
Oh.
It wasn't. Hey, that's Timo is saying that.
No,
you
you totally did that yourself, Joe.
No, Timo 30.
No.
Rollo is like Jamie. Maybe that's why I love him. Timo
Joe,
30's idea, not mine.
You need to go in the corner again. You need to go in the corner again, Joe. Okay, so we get back to Kattegat, the kids. A lot more fun. They're gonna be warriors. He's happy. He walks in the room. Place goes nuts. Ragnar, but Ragnar again's kind of like assholey about it. He's like, yeah, everybody, yeah.
But I think he's in a lot of pain still. He is a suffering man.
He's a suffering bastard. Yeah, look at the chats. The chat saying, "No, Joe, you're thinking way too much." Ragnar
That is not what was written between the lines, Joseph.
That was not what was written.
Hey, that's what I saw written.
Of course it is. So he's happy, but I sense some fucking.
What part of Jamie were we comparing him to?
Anyway, so we get some uneasiness. He says, "Forget about poor little me," and then everyone's happy and kind of goes back to eating. So more than any other woman, Ragnar ends up noticing that girl, Aslog's slave girl.
Yeah.
Immediately notes her, and he also finds out in the situation that Bjorn arrested Floki. Ragnar seems upset. He asks why, and Bjorn says it had to be dealt with. Ragnar says, if I wanted him arrested, I would have done it a long time ago. But you made it public. Yes, did you think? Left me with no options. Now I must deal with my errant friend. Bjorn kept what was a secret issue within the family, and he kept it. He ended up using it. Bjorn is getting pissed because Ragnar is undermining him in the situation. Ragnar says, right
idea was it to leave Rollo in Paris?
And Bjorn says, he's my uncle, and he's my brother, and I know him better than you, and it was a fucking mistake.
Yeah.
Ragnar, and this is what I said here. Ragnar has a way of telling you you're an ass, and that you have no part in his plan, even though he never told you what his plan was. He's awesome at being a hypocrite. And that's the Tony Soprano in him. He'll like, I never told you not to hit the emergency brake while you were slamming on the gas, even though you never drove before.
Well,
but then
does Bjorn overstep his bounds by making any kind of decisions? Ragnar's not dead. He's injured. He's in bed.
And to back up your point too, Joe, Aslog's in charge of Kattegat right now, not Bjorn.
Right.
Yeah,
so this is Bjorn overstepping his bounds. Ragnar gave no such orders to have either of these two things done, maybe he wanted everybody to come back, leave nobody behind in
I
France.
feel for Bjorn in this situation though, because he's trying to do his best.
I was psyched for
He
Bjorn.
had to
I
get
thought he
them
was doing the right
home.
thing until Ragnar opened his mouth, and then I was like, wow.
Great wait, second,
Ragnar,
Joe.
you're fucking right, dude. You are so right.
1 second, Joe.
Bjorn
Great
had-
point,
like,
Katie.
You're forgetting about the whole way home. Someone had to
Great
be
point.
the leader. Bjorn had to step up.
Excellent.
Ragnar's been unconscious.
He
He was doing what he could with the situation he was
He is,
handed,
even
and
if
so
he's
at this
not-
point he can't just kowtow to Oslog.
perfect, Katie.
Oh,
Perfect, Katie.
Sorry, I
Ultimately,
don't like that.
regardless of whether he's not, that was awesome, Katie. Whether he is or not, he is the spiritual leader of the Vikings right now. They're or this group of Vikings.
But was he unconscious the whole way? We saw him talking to Floki on the boat.
was in
It was the
bad
last
shape.
thing.
He
He
was
was
in
in bad shape.
like-
I'm not saying he wasn't in bad shape, but we don't know that he was unconscious the whole way. We know that we saw him talking to Floki on the boat at the end of last season on the way home. We don't know if he fell unconscious, for how long he was unconscious,
Katie,
whether he was in and out of
Joe can't let
unconscious.
you make a point. I understand. Sorry, Katie. I thought you made a good point there. I thought you were right. So we go up to Paris,
We know
and
that.
Rollo again. We get great visuals of Paris looking next level. It's like really next level awesome. Really awesome set design, real or not, whatever. It just looks really fucking incredible. The epic scope of Paris. Rollo just we get to see Rollo's wedding, and Rollo is hilarious in this scene. I love the fish out of water situation. The almost like a Terminator in this situation. Rollo grabs the preacher's cross, and he's just like,
that's nice
I'm-
looking.
I'm getting married. Yes, this is. And he kneels down. We see the count guy. We see the king smile at Rollo. He just knows he's lucky to have him. Awkward Rollo is the best. Rollo is the best. He was adorable. I love him. He's definitely my second favorite. Oh, I definitely love Bjorn too. But yes, but he's young, but he had good intentions about Bjorn. Awkward Rollo is the best though. So he's getting married in the situation, and then the princess gets in, and she gets sort of like dragged in and put down on her knees and forced to sit there crying, and forced to marry him. But
Yeah, I don't think she wants to do this. I get the feeling.
I don't think she wants to. But you gotta get. It's a really awesome thing that the way they set up this scene, because in most times in this situation, I know Rollo. You look at him almost as an evil guy, but ultimately in this situation, he's doing his best. He's really so happy, and that's what puts this interesting dynamic to the scenes, because he is just like smiley, happy people. There's no like weird evilness about him. He won't, he doesn't treat her like normal women, and what he would normally do, Viking person would just like throw her down and rape her in the wedding bed. He is really.
He was getting ready to do that, but.
He's like,
Kind of. I think he wanted her to think that he was, because he was.
He wants her to
playing
want
with
him.
her.
He wants a little cheap trick.
Absolutely, Joe. He wants her to want him. I don't think he's as far as we're doing a lot of Game of Thrones talk tonight, but I don't think he's as far as Tyrion to Sansa. I won't share your bed until you want me to.
No.
But I think he's trying that. He's
Fuck
like,
that. That's my bed, bitch.
that's you'll want me eventually. I think he's just thinking you're gonna need. I'm your husband. I'll have you eventually. You don't want it tonight. You will be mine, little prick.
Yeah, he's loving the cat and mouse game.
Oh, he likes her
throwing her
feistiness.
off.
He loves the fact that she spit on him
Oh yeah.
or on that dude. She loves the fact that whatever it was that she said when the deal was announced, that it was with angst and venom and spirit. She likes the fact that she has to be. She's a woman with will and strength of her own and character of her own. And he likes that. He doesn't want. He wants a warrior. He doesn't want a fucking a toy.
Subservient princess.
His ultimate love is Lagertha. So this woman has her strength in it, and he can see that. So he's amazing.
Great point, Phil.
Very good.
He's amazingly like turned on by that aspect of it.
Great point.
At this point right now, I'm not necessarily on Rollo's team. I'm still pissed at him, but I see John Snow in the chat. Like he's dead to me now. Rollo's dead to me. To me, the bitch move in this episode by Rollo is again doing that, not fighting his own battles thing. Going there and
he didn't shoot even one crossbow.
No, he just sat there looking all fucking douchebaggery. Like, he just turned into a douchebag in that moment and totally pussied out. Didn't have the guts.
He embraced his douchebag. Yes.
And I have a big question about that moment when we get to that part.
We're getting there. We're getting close. Excuse me. So is Rollo going to defend Paris with just Paris soldiers? It looks that way, Bruce.
Yes.
Definitely looks that way.
He's killing his own people and the ones that are supposed to be behind him. He has totally been drinking the wine.
Jon Snow has a great line in the comments. How funny though. You can't fuck me, Rollo. Okay, princess. Hold on, you don't want to fuck me? Like that weird reaction. Wait a second. You mean you're just going to sleep? You're not going to try to...
You want this. You know you want this. Did you see that fucking six-pack? You know how much work went into this ink in this six-pack, baby? You know you want this.
Isn't that Roman Polanski's daughter, too?
I could have you if I wanted you right now. Go to sleep.
It's great. She cannot figure him out.
Stop tickling me with your toothpick.
Are you really nice? Like, your little toothpick. Ha ha! Hulk smash! I love the way it's so innocent. It's so like, oh, little girl, happy. Ha ha ha! Nice little. Let me pet you, little girl. You poke me with stick. I don't poke you with my stick tonight. It's nice.
Oh gosh.
So Rollo gets down on one knee. And the princess won't do it. She gets married. The king comes over, puts her head down, and is like, finish it. And someone said in the comment, no one would do that to Lagertha. As we get into if you even try to do shit to Lagertha, we'll get into a second. As she's carried to the bedchamber, we talked all about this. Don't touch me, you monster. He tries to kiss her. She pulls a knife. He laughs. It's just real. It's just so funny when he passes out eventually. He's just so pissed off. So next scene is we get to Kalf.
Was he sleeping though? Or do you think he was faking it? You think he was actually that tired where he was like, I know we're about to fuck, but
no, that's all part. Joe is all part of the seduction. He's wide awake. He's waiting for her to pass out.
You're tickling me with that. Stop it.
He likes that. Rollo's into SNA. He's like, yes. Rollo like that. I go into battlefield with my shirt on and no anything or no leather, anything. I go.
She remembers seeing him on the wall.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Guys. So Kalf, we go over to Kalf next, and we get to him and Dead Guy. I forget Dead Guy's name, and talking about how you and Lagertha can't lead.
Dickless.
Whiny. Dickless, yes.
Dickless wonder there, Dickless. Yeah. So you got to banish her. We got to make a vote. Make it for real. Okay, whatever. So they do this whole thing where it's a vote and you get a post. And if you cut into the post, you say you want Aslog. Not Aslog. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm totally cutting into that post.
Lagertha.
I'm going to go sit in the corner. My turn to sit in the corner.
That post was awfully nicked up to begin with.
Yeah. So they go. So if you want Lagertha out, do it. And I hate to be this person, but I got to say it. She looked so fucking beautiful in this scene.
She did.
So like in her
she was pissed.
Fuck man, she's fucking amazing. Okay,
this look fits her so well.
It really does.
Yep.
And
she's hotter in this than anything else I've ever seen this woman in.
Don't kill Phil. I know I deserve shame. I get the shame.
And it's also her best acting job that I've seen her do too. It's absolutely amazing what she does in this show compared to the things that she's done in other stuff.
Much agreed.
She's beautiful in every scene. I agree, Timo. I'm not saying I'm not a pig, but I don't usually gush over TV. Like there's just something about that girl that I'm just like mesmerized by.
Because she could kick your ass and you love that, Phil.
I love it.
Great.
Okay, so
strong woman.
I love a fucking strong woman. So they cut into the post and they believe that she should be kicked out of there. And they all cut, and then Kalf's like, this is Kalf's coming out party for me liking him. Like,
yeah.
He goes, you motherfuckers, and he's just
archers.
Like,
Loose.
It's like Lagertha's ideal surprise party.
Oh yeah. Everybody just gets mowed down, and dickhead, he grabs one of the people in the circle and starts using him as a human shield.
I couldn't tell. Did he grab a?
Yeah, dude, I saw that.
It looked like he grabbed.
It might have even been a woman
or a little girl.
He grabbed someone. He grabbed someone and started using him as a human shield.
Human shield.
Dante Sky, to answer your question, did Lagertha get dick blood on her face?
Oh yeah, she got a facial.
Yeah,
Got a facial. It was awesome.
Yeah, she did. It made her all the more beautiful.
Awesome.
Absolutely, Katie. Okay, so
she cut
that was a
angle
facial she was proud to wear.
She was going for that splash.
So
she wanted it to hit his face, but hey, whatever. At least this way he gets to see it.
Take it. Okay, so after all this happens, that guy, Dickless Wonder, gets raping little bastard fuck, gets an arrow right through his fucking raping pussy bitch ass throat, and he gets stuck up again.
Nails him to the post.
And Lagertha's like, 1 second, excuse me, I have some final words. So she wanders her pretty ass down there, gets in his face, pulls out the knife, and then I said this earlier, I thought she was gonna like stab him in the gut, let him bleed out or something.
That was Horik's son that she stopped. That was King Horik's son that she stopped, who was using the crossbow, and that was a crossbow bolt in his throat. So it was him that landed the shot.
He's playing the game. He's understanding what he needs to do in the situation. So she goes in there and fucking cuts it off, and I bet balls and dick both.
Oh yeah, the whole package.
Fucking spray over his face, and as I said it earlier, grabs the fucking dick in her hand and drops it. Listen to that scene again. I'll say it again. You can hear
it hit the ground.
You hear the dick thud off.
It's awesome. It's amazing. It's one of the best scenes on TV I've ever seen. I was cheering. Bravo, Lagertha. You made my fucking day, week, month. That was beautiful. It was a great job.
No doubt. One of my favorite moments I've ever seen on television ever. I cannot lie. It really was. I was cheering, dude.
I only would have been better if she stuffed it in his mouth.
I think they probably wanted to do that, but they didn't. They couldn't. They felt like they couldn't do that. Like that the History Channel.
That would have gone a little too far for the History Channel, but that could have been something they did on HBO.
Jon Snow, we gotta say one thing. It was probably a pretty big dick to hear that hit the floor. Good point. We gotta speak well of the dead, even the raping.
It could have been the whole package, not just the dick.
I think it was definitely the whole package.
Oh, balls, dick, the whole. Yeah, she bundled up. Like she was grabbing a bale of hay. Yeah. Like she was about to chaff the wheat.
She took surrounding tissue. She wasn't fooling around.
Yeah, no, she took it all.
Timo says she took it all. Timo says the fact that they made sure we hear the sound of dick hitting the floor was awesome detail. Just made that scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that I really liked that on her way up to him, it was the guy it was Horik's son with the crossbow. It was the crossbow bolt that got him, and that when she tells him to stop, he stops.
Yeah.
And do you know what I love even more? That History Channel had someone doing a dick drop tonight. The History Channel's come such a long way that we have dick drops.
Well, there were dick drops. There's been dick drops on every continent.
Oh, absolutely.
Everywhere. There's been dick drops. Dick drops happen. Bobby was one of my famous known dick drops. Out the window, dick drops.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
A moving car out the window, dick drop.
Drive-by dick drop.
Drive-by dick dropping.
Lagertha's just like, yep, okay, show's over.
Point made. Where's dinner?
Dick drop and walks off stage.
# dick drop.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, that's our hashtag for the show. If you've listened to the show, if you want to wherever it is, # dick drop.
Tweet out a nice # dick drop.
To Lagertha, to the actress of Lagertha, and then put from Phil the Issues guy. Let's all do that. I'm sure she's gonna love that.
Don't actually do what Lagertha did, though.
No.
Don't mail any dicks to anybody.
No, yeah.
You know what's gonna be interesting for the rest of that woman's life? At conventions and stuff, they're gonna be like, how did it feel to shoot that dick drop scene? Holy
iconic. Forever known.
Now, Lagertha, in the 4th season of, or I forget the actress's name, I don't have it in front of me. Now, Karen Wicknick, I think her name is, or Winnick or something. Karen, excuse me. When you were filming that dick drop scene in season 4, what was inside your soul?
What was it that you actually dropped? What was it that you used to make the sound?
What was the sound that you got? Was that put in actually that the dick sound was put in post? I didn't drop anything at that moment. I dropped a knife.
I just made it look like I dropped. Oh, I dropped the knife. I still think you should have shoved it right in his fucking mouth.
Yeah, that would not have sucked. Oh, sorry, that was horrible.
You motherfucker. That's
Thank you, Katie. That was horrible. That was horrible. I'm going to hell for that joke. Okay,
I missed it. Oh no.
I just said that it would suck.
Oh,
Okay.
you're right.
So the songs, so we get the song singer, or whatever his name is, leaving Paris, and he has to leave
Rollo will be alone.
He needs to be in the wide open world of himself. He says, if I stay, if you can make me stay, but it'll have to cut my feet off, and all that goes around comes around, as I might see you again, Rollo, as he goes to wander. Rollo's like, no, I got no one else to talk to. I'm bored. Don't leave. Good to know you guys love that scene as much as I did. For a minute,
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was going to get up and cut his feet off.
Oh no, but I love that. But Timo was talking about the dick cut off scene.
Okay.
That us as any guys would be like, oh no, don't cut off that guy deserved it.
We were all down.
Cheering.
Everybody was down for that. He was a rapist fuck that needed to go.
Yep.
Honorable mention. Borg. Was that character's name?
Jarlborg.
Jarlborg.
He's not a Jarl though.
No, he was.
Oh no, that was talking about somebody else. Somebody else. Oh,
Jarlborg was last season.
His name is Ivar.
oh, okay. Yes.
I don't.
Yeah,
know anything
from
else.
last season. Sorry about
He's
that.
the one that got blood eagled, isn't he? Jarlborg.
Yeah, I think so. I'm so confused. I don't know.
Oh no, Horik was blood eagled.
It was Horik blood
King
eagled.
Horik?
Okay.
No,
No, it was Bjorg.
yeah, King Horik was redhead there.
Oh no, it was Jarlborg. Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys in the chat. Yep.
From
absolutely.
Gotham.
Yeah.
With,
What's
Don Logue.
Don Logue. Yes, Joe. Ramsey and laughter together. Honorable mention, Jarlborg. Okay, here we go. Hot dogs and armor. Hot dogs. Don't you woman with a fresh dick blood on her lip as Bruce. Oh, Phil, I don't have an erection while watching this. Tim, the guy. I love the fucking chat right now. You guys are fucking amazing. Holy shit. Sorry, I get distracted in the chat sometimes because it's so entertaining. That's why if you're checking this out later, please join us live so you can be a part of it as well. Okay, so Rollo, I keep doing the Rollo thing, whatever.
Rollos are awesome.
Do you really think that's the first time Lagertha's had fresh dick blood on her lips?
No, she's probably had Ragnar. She's probably bitten him on his dick in a pleasurable way before.
Oh, yeah.
That's at least that's how I imagine in my fantasies. Okay,
I'm sure there's not really a pleasurable way to get bit on the penis.
Let's move on. Okay, so as the bitch, as a little bitch comes in to say some shit to him, and it's some little guy named Eric is coming there to see them. It depends the person, Joe. So someone looks sad, and he had a meeting at the camp, and some of the warriors are upset that ultimately Rollo now is a Frankish noble. They don't want him. They don't want to fight for him. They don't want to fight against Ragnar.
Yeah.
And Rollo asks how many men, and he says about half.
And so he goes and kills them all? What the fuck is that?
Yeah. I wonder if Ramsey is watching Vikings. No.
Critiquing.
Yeah, being like, excuse me. But good question, Joe. Why? I guess he probably felt, I'm kind of suppositioning here. I don't have anything to back it up, but I'm guessing what he probably thought was if some of them were betraying me now, all of them will eventually, so I might as well kill them all now.
Right, because the only way to deal with the betraying ones is to kill them. So,
yeah.
But here's the thing. My question about it all is this. You make the decision to go kill them. What makes you think that you're safe after that point?
Good, because you're married to the queen.
Well, Dad,
yeah, and there's one way out of marriage.
He's simple.
Have him killed.
Joe, you're absolutely right, because you're defining how much of a dumbass and short-sighted that Rollo is being.
Right, because now he's got zero backup. He's got zero army left. He's got zero. Now he's alone in a continent who basically forced a king to sell him his daughter for the support of those Vikings. He just had his troops killed.
Oh. Dude, I'm with you on this one. I think he's in fuck up city. He's spiraling downward, and he can't control it. He doesn't.
He's drunk on a sense of potential power.
And then what it also does is it alienates him from the Vikings, and so now maybe the king says, "Okay, great, that was one way to take care of the problem. But
Someone
the
said
king
in
could
the
have done
chat,
that anyway. He could have snuck up and had them all.
He does. And Jon Snow said in the chat he does have the hold of Paris after that, though. He it's his job to hold Paris, and he has all of the soldiers at his disposal theoretically.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
I mean,
so basically he's going to be the general for the next invasion.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, because he knows Viking tactics and he's that much smarter and better than his brother and all that shit. Whatever.
If he can learn to communicate with them, he can't even communicate. It's not
I
like
think he will.
He knows how to throw him out of a room.
And he knows how to say no.
Yeah.
No.
And
No.
hello. He said hello to the princess.
Hello. No. Hello. No. Hello.
Salut, bien salut.
People are still going. Bruce says, "Can you imagine being the sound editor and being told to make a dick plop sound?"
Okay, we need a dick plot sound.
I don't think so. So I don't think your Paris soldiers. Timo says, and when they all come back from Kattegat and when their people are dead, they're definitely going to go after him. He's the new general. Yeah, I think he is the new general. Ultimately.
Right, but it would make more sense to just have Rollo killed and deal with the Vikings when they come back. Having Rollo around isn't going to help anybody.
Well,
it frees up your daughter. It'll make her happy again. He betrayed you. He didn't follow through on his part of the deal, so it's okay if you kill him.
Well, Katie? I think he has information about the Vikings and the future attackers that they can use. After that, kill him.
It's interesting to think I'm not even sure if the Paris king has a plan necessarily.
Yeah, he's kind of nuts. He's a little nuts.
I think he's just kind of thinking on his feet right now and thinking.
No, he's a coward, and he is a little crazy. He's not the most intelligent man. Everything he's ever said or done, he's had yes men to tell him okay.
And up to this point, it almost seemed like he was being led by his daughter
or
that other guy that was leering at the daughter.
And now he saw it as a way to get rid of someone who might have been plotting to take over from him because of how strong and smart she was.
Yes.
To jump in the chat for 1 second, just in response to what you were saying, Joe. Rollo is willing to teach them the ways that he knows the way the Vikings fight. So he is definitely very beneficial to whatever that. I'm blanking on that guy's name. That the other French general, the main guy that thinks he can use him, and the one that wanted to marry the princess. I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah.
So what the best thing for him to have done?
How could I forget him? His name was Odo.
I was just thinking Odo, but I was like, no, that couldn't be it.
The Count Odo. The best thing for him to have done would have been to say, okay, guys, you know what? I want you to go home.
To the Vikings?
Yeah, just leave. Go home. It's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm going to stay here. I was told to stay here. Go home.
We're good.
And when they come back, he could just keep reassuring the king, don't worry. When they come back, I get my troops. They'll come back to me, and then we'll do what we said.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a way out of this whole situation where you don't have to worry about anything.
Well, in a sense, this is a way of getting the Parisians and stuff to trust him and welcome him as one of them, though, too.
Plus, someone said in the chat before, this is Rollo's opportunity to make a name for himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's really important to him, and not living in his brother's shadow.
That's always been the most important thing to him.
His driving motivation.
So
rather than like basking in the glory of what his brother's accomplished and what he's helped his brother accomplish, he just
how could I forget? I'm sorry. How could I forget the name Count? Timo's right. How could I forget Count Odo?
He's on the poster behind you.
I'm very disappointed.
Or they said it 50 times in that one episode. They're, Count Odo, Count Odo, Count Odo. Are you looking outside, Count Odo? Count Odo. We know the Viking soldiers are coming. Count Odo, Count Odo, Count Odo.
Yeah, they really want in that episode. I remember that they wanted us to remember who these people were.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure we do.
I mean, you don't ever have to forget who the king is because he's the king. But this guy, they wanted us to remember his name.
Yeah.
So we kind of merge the two Rollo scenes in. Rollo's visited by a Viking guy that kind of talks to him and tells him this unhappiness. And then eventually, as we showed up at the end of the episode, well, we'll get to that, but we kind of already talked about this. So we go back to Ragnar and Kattegat in the snow, looking at Floki Ragnar's like petting his cat or something. He's not really doing it, but he looks like he's like sitting on his doing the Dr. Evil thing.
Yeah.
No, he's just watching them sitting there, just watching away. Hey, we see you. I'm looking at you, watching you sit there.
Beautiful set and
in your own shit,
beautifully shot,
and everybody else's shit, in the farm shit, and all the shit that the people threw at you.
And we also in this scene see Ragnar looking at the slave girl again. We see Bjorn coming up to him and telling him, "I'm going away to see your mother. No, to find your wife. No, definitely not. I'm going to go out to the wilderness. I'm going to go out to the wilderness to that pre-season trailer thing and go fight the bear like it's going to happen. But I have to go, and it's going to be a long hunt. I'm going to go to a hunter's lodge interior or whatever. I'm going to leave."
Bjorn first walks up too. Ragnar kind of pretends to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't want to deal with it.
He doesn't want to deal with
again,
talking to him.
A Tony Soprano thing. It doesn't have to do with Ragnar. He doesn't really want to hear about it. So we leaves, and Ragnar's like, "Okay, fine, you're gonna go. Leave soon before the winter freeze." And Ragnar says, "You're a fool. Why are you really going? Because why are you doing it? Because you." And he says, "Because you don't think I can survive." And Ragnar's like, "I find it so amusing that I can make people do stuff without even saying anything. I'm such a bastard," and he enjoys it. And I forgot to mention
he's
this.
amused, yes.
He is amused.
I think he's amused because I think he's kind of thinking to himself, why the fuck do you think, like, what?
Yeah. Silly, insecure boy.
Why? Yeah.
And
You
did
went to battle with me. I put you in charge of troops.
Yeah.
Like,
And excuse me, did Ragnar say winter's coming? I believe he might have said winter is coming. I wrote this in my notes. Did he just say winter is coming? Question mark. Let me jump in the chat, see if anyone's.
I know at one point he said, stay out of watch for snowdrifts.
Someone said winter's coming. I know, I'm pretty sure I heard that. Timo says loving the show said winter's coming. I think it was in the last episode last season. Oh no, that was
You should leave before the first snows, before the first freeze or something like that.
Oh, the first freeze. Okay. I heard that as winter's coming.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
it's basically what he said. He said, "Hurry up and get going before winter gets here."
Yeah,
that was also the scene where we see the slave chick. She's grabbing a chicken in town square there, and trying to, and that's where I really got the impression that she definitely wasn't accustomed to manual labor and all that stuff. That she was taken from a more well-off household.
Right, I agree. That's what I was kind of hinting at earlier. So the music's also really. This is the point in the episode where I wrote, I don't say enough about the Vikings music and how it fits into the episode and the tribal sensibilities to it and just how it rises and falls with the action that's going on. What really exceptional. It's never overshadows what's going on in the scene. It's never too much, and it's just enough and takes it down when it needs to be. And I think it's part of why dream sequences work well in this show, and it gives it a real extra sense of wonder to the music. Oh, he said winter freeze. That's what it was. Okay. He said the winter freeze.
It's close enough. It counts. Yeah. It counts.
I heard the word winter. So I said, did he say winter's coming? I was going to say did I mention Game of Thrones season 6 is coming soon? Okay, so then Ragnar goes into what is an exceptionally shot scene of Ragnar circling around Floki.
He's drawing a circle around him, literally, with his cane.
Yep.
With his cane. And Floki's like, "Are you going to kill me?" And he says, he's like, "You betrayed me, but why don't you just tell me why you did it? The reason why you did it was because you were jealous of Athelstan. That was why. Just tell me. Just say it. Say it. Say it. Say it." He just does the Sam Kinison. Just fucking say it. Say it. And Floki's like, "The gods, blah, blah, blah." And Ragnar goes, "Stop hiding behind the gods.
Yep.
Tell me what you really did." And Floki says, "I did it as God commanded. It was the truth.
As the gods.
As the gods commanded. And I do it again."
Yep.
And Ragnar just walks away, and Floki yells at him, "Kill me!"
The toughest part is having to sit there and wait to know what your fate is actually going to be. Like, the longer you sit there and make somebody wait, the more you kind of feel like, oh, maybe I'm going to get let go at some point. He hasn't killed me yet.
And he yells, "Kill me!" And Ragnar just smiles at him, gives him the eyeball, and walks away. And we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I know what you guys were saying. And I think maybe there was some elements of the jealousy thing, but I think Floki really Floki really believes the bullshit he spouts, and I think he thinks the gods told him to kill Athelstan.
Well, I think
you convinced.
I think you're correct about that, Phil. But I think that Katie's also correct about that. That he absolutely believes it because that's what he's convinced himself. Whether it be the voices in his head, or the really, really hard mushroom trip, or whatever it was, but he absolutely believes that. He can't see the jealousy, but ultimately, that's really where it's all coming from. That's because if he loved Athelstan, these voices would be telling him other things, but he doesn't. He has the jealousy, and that fuels the voice. Like, that your mood going into taking a bunch of mushrooms or something like that is going to most likely dictate how the night goes.
Yeah.
Take a handful of acid and mushrooms and have a good trip after like you've witnessed or been through some horrible stuff. Like it's not exactly like a, you know,
Pick me up?
your mood and your thoughts are magnified and increased to the point where they'll convince you of things that are reality, that becomes reality for you, but is not necessarily the truth.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Of course not. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, Phil.
I don't know what you're talking about. Mushrooms? What are you talking about?
Or so a book I once read said.
Yeah. So shiitake mushrooms? Are you talking about that?
Portobellos, man. Those ones will fuck you up.
Tasty shit, man. Tasty shit.
Mushroom madness.
Pick me up before you go. Getting shroom and acid lessons from Joe. I fucking love it. We don't know what you're talking about.
I had a high school teacher who the last day of class before Christmas vacation every year for his seniors, and I was lucky enough to be one of his seniors. His class was titled "Famous Last Meals and Drug Recipes." And it was an attempt to allow the seniors to go out who he knew was going to party and tell them, listen, if you do go out and you ingest drugs, don't mix these ones. They will kill you. But if you mix these ones, you might have an extra special time. It was a very nice class.
Survival tactics for the partier.
Teaching was so different back then.
And whatever you do, don't get behind the wheel of a car, you know? So it was... It was definitely a class that I'm glad I had and experienced.
I'm sure you are. So Floki says I did as God commanded, and it's just cold ass. So now we get to see Bjorn saying goodbye to his brothers, and he walks over to his dad. And he goes to his dad, and he said, Ragnar holds him and goes, now look for what's pissing in front of you, and look for snowdrifts. Prove me wrong.
And behind you. Pissing behind
you. Yep, with pissing in front of you and pissing behind you. And he almost for a second looked like a proud daddy as he watched him go off. And Aslog comes up and goes, you'll never see him alive again. And he's just like, what the fuck?
You'll never see him alive again.
What the
fuck? Being a little more
like Jesus Christ. Do you have this? You're like walking into a room like
did you have a fucking... Why would you say no? I didn't have. He like immediately he goes to turn, turn and run after him, and that because he believes her vision's absolutely 100%.
She's freaky.
Real shit, right? So when she says that, he immediately is like, "What? Have you seen something? Do you know something?" And she's like, "No." And why would you say that to me? He's going off to fucking wilderness country to prove himself. Why? What the fuck is wrong with you, woman?
Bitch, you know, like sorry, that is such a bitch. And I don't
alive again.
I mean like a bitch move, you know, that's like just such a bitch move to be like, well, fuck you, Ragnar, blah, 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 blah. Like, why are you doing that?
Like, just walk up behind him and stab him.
Jon Snow, she is such a bitch. Yeah, she is.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Timo says, I wanted Ragnar to just backhand her right there. Like, what the, like, it was just fucking ridiculous. Okay. So we go to the Viking camp. We already talked about this. There are riders in France, and this is Rollo being blah 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 blah. Basically, it's really really sad. We see dead children. We see dead women. We see Rollo kind of, doesn't even let the Vikings have a fair fight.
No, the encampment is surrounded by they're all distracted by Rollo riding up on his horse, and he's dressed to the nines. He's got on these really rich furs. He's on a nice, beautiful steed and all this shit. And he comes riding up, and they're happy to see him at first. I told you he'd come. The guy's proud. He says to his son, I told you Rollo would come back. And they open up the gates for Rollo, and he just stands there and he sits on his horse. He doesn't approach. And after a few seconds, the guy starts wondering why you're not coming in. And his wife off in the background sees the archers crest over the hill. And all I'm thinking is the Vikings were smart enough not to put themselves in a fucking valley to make their encampment. They would have made it on the top of these hills, no doubt. Not in a valley surrounded by all these hills. That's not defense. That's a shooting pit. That's a death trap.
Yeah.
It's a turkey.
Like they're smart, much smart. It's a turkey shoot. Thank you. Fish in a barrel. So they would have been smarter than to do that, I'm sure. But all the archers, not archers, crossbow men appear on the crest and just start bolts. And beautiful work on the wardrobes and the costumery, because the bolts that were hitting them, the bolts that we see are actually bolts. They're not arrows. They're all bolts. It's really, I thought it was a great scene. Nice. After about half of the people are wiped out, the guy that's in charge of them all that came to see Rollo yells for the shield wall. He's now starting to taunt Rollo by saying, we're going to fucking kill you. Yeah, he sees them both murdered in front of him by these archers. So they form up a shield wall and they start this dramatic, march forward that's slow at first. All the bowmen or crossbowmen are really letting loose. And they just start running towards Rollo as the shield, this big, like Roman kind of shield wall.
They hold it for a while, but there's just too many
bows,
and they weren't prepared enough. And the shield wall kind of breaks, and he's the last man. He just gets up there, and Eric is that guy's name, and he goes, "Listen, you motherfucker, you might have got me, but Ragnar is fucking coming, and he will revenge."
That's worse than winter is coming, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And by the way, Bjorn said winter is coming in episode 9 last year. Thank you, Marge, in the chat room. And Rollo is scared as fuck. You can see the look on little bitch Rollo's face right there. Like, I'm fucked.
Yep. Ragnar will avenge us.
Again,
Ragnar is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that will be bestowed upon your ass.
Again, compare quick Godfather 2 fucking spoiler if you haven't seen Godfather 2. It's like
I haven't seen it yet.
Whatever, Joe. Let me finish my thought first. Ultimately, the point is he is like Fredo in that point when Fredo goes down to bring the money down to Cuba, and he notices that the guys that he set up Michael with are right there, and he's looking at them, and Fredo gets this look in his face like, I'm fucked. I'm dead. I'm fucking. That's when you know. Same with like Big Pussy when Tony shows up at his house there and stuff it's like he knows he's fucked. Rollo knows he is in deep. You are in deep doo-doo, Rollo.
Yep.
No doubt.
Fucking A. And yes, Joe, now please say what you were going to say about people. If people haven't seen The Godfather, what do you have to say about that?
No, I was saying I haven't seen it. I was saying don't spoil me, Phil. Don't spoil me.
You haven't seen The Godfather?
I was gonna after you and before you told me to quiet. I was gonna say like I'm going to see it in the theater this weekend.
Yeah. Here's a spoiler. Here's a spoiler for The Godfather, Joe. Everyone died.
Oh no.
Tim says, if you haven't seen Godfather 2, then go fuck yourself. What the fuck, Joe? You haven't even seen Godfather 2? What the fuck, Joe? The chat.
No, I've seen Godfather 1, Godfather Part 2, and Godfather Part 3, and the Godfather Saga, but I do not like 3.
Joe, wait, there's a Godfather 3?
No.
No.
As far as I'm concerned, there is not. Anything that happens in an opera house should be like burned and never seen again.
Sofia Coppola should be behind a camera, not in front of it. Okay, so and final thought, that guy Eric was such a badass. Fucking
great.
Really awesome. Great way to go out. If a character has to go out, that was an awesome way to do it. The Vikings, I felt so bad for those characters, and they really believed in the family and believed that Rollo had their best interest, and they really got betrayed by him. And such a little bitch villain turn moment, heel turn, in a different way of saying. And I know it's real situations. We're not talking about we're talking about a fictitious historical fiction here, but ultimately he really, for his character in this moment, really, I think even more so than the bridge he crossed before, because at least he was still on the Viking side. He just chose a different Viking to support. This is truly really breaking out of the family of Vikings and going on another side. Not like not as simple as Ragnar taking Applesauce's side over some Vikings in certain situations. His still agenda was for the Vikings or himself.
Correct.
And the Vikings. Yeah. Rollo is doing this, killed Vikings for his own personal interest in games.
I never saw Ragnar kill Vikings aside from when they were attacking him in his town.
Yeah.
Or when Rollo tried to have him killed. Like, it's the last thing Ragnar wants to do is he wants his people united. He wants his people to have more land. He wants his people to be prosperous and rich. Like, I feel like Ragnar is very motivated by not just his own legacy, but the legacy of all of his people.
Yeah.
And he doesn't understand why there's some, like, he understands the jealousy and he understands why it exists and all this, and that people have it, but he doesn't understand why the people so close to him, why they can't find the fact that he loves many and be okay with that. Why he can't love Athelstan and his brother and Floki and let them all be prosperous and let them all have their own thing and their own name for themselves, but he wants them to help him increase all the people. And Floki just wants Ragnar's love, and Rollo just wants his own fame and fortune, and it's just all in. And do you know what? Ragnar's sad and he does feel like it's childish, and he does a great job portraying that.
Yes.
And do you know what we all want? We all want to love all of you guys. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Vikings Recap, the season 4 premiere. It's going to be really fun talking about Vikings this season. We will be on after most episodes of Vikings, just like Better Call Saul, because it's a later in the evening program. There might be some weeks, depending on having to wake up early in the morning, that we may do it the next day, but we're going to most likely, or majority of the episodes, be on right after they air on Thursday evenings. So I'm really excited about being able to do that, because last year we weren't able to do that because I had a commitment on Thursday evenings. But
me too, every other Thursday.
All right, so I'm excited to be able to talk Vikings. So if you haven't already and you enjoy this discussion about Vikings, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Love to hear your thoughts. If you're watching this video later on, share your thoughts of this episode of Vikings. And make sure you join us all season to talk about tons of Vikings. So great to have everyone in the chat room. Thanks to the motherfucking Issues chat. Thank you to Jon Snow, Timo, Bruce, all of our friends that were in here, Tim, a bunch of other people that we saw popping in here at different times of the evening. Thank you to all of our friends. It's going to be really great. I'm excited. Vikings back. So let's end things out here. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Good night.
So I took you down to the local clinic and your fast blood test my tickle though in it. Told you I'd be faithful, it is true. Give you little ass birth control too. Now the women, it's not wrong. The boyfriend is consummate pass along. Earldom.
Rapid.
So what type of woman is for me and you? I have a simulation, damn it, it's true.
What band is this?
Blood test to ever get this. Condoms are unnatural, plus they feel like shit.
Do I recognize that voice?
We all can trust, so we know we fuck her. Our dicks won't turn to dust.
Especially when they're cut off and left on the ground.
Our dicks won't turn to dust.
Especially when they're cut off and left on the ground.
Very true.
So I knew this guy, he knew a girl. He fucked her right and he rocked that world. Then showed up unannounced. He said yes, baby's worth a pound. The answer is no. Stops in the case. Dropping a condiment, messed up the pace. You only heard my hero of a song. It's strung together once and for all. Everybody, if you know the words, join together. Birth control and blood test to ever get this dick. Condoms are unnatural, and plus they feel like shit. We need a woman we all can trust, so we know if we fuck her, our dicks won't turn to dust.
Oh. My dicks will turn to dust. Yes, please.
Mr. Craig McKeough.
Dicks won't turn to dust.
Jesus, Crow. It's a rockin' crow.
Birth control blood test to ever get this dick. Condoms are unnatural, and plus they feel like shit. We need a woman we all can trust, so we know we fuck her.
I know, all of us.
Wow.
I can trust the woman, but I can't trust all the guys fucking her.
Yeah, seriously.
Our dicks won't turn to dust.